Let's get straight on with the climax of your Friday night action. Please welcome the 9-time ranking event winner, made his Crucible debut in '84, world and UK champion in '91, John Parrott. And his opponents, making history for his country and his continent tonight. The first Brazilian, the first South American ever to walk down these famous stairs. Welcome, Igor Figueidero.
Let's get down to business. One more night together. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
A great moment for Igor Figueidero, taking on the champion from 30 years ago yesterday. Here we go then. Mike Dunn in the commentary box. I'll be alongside him shortly. Take it away, Michael.
Thanks, you, Rob. Igor Figueidero.
Good evening, everybody. In what is the final match of today's play? I've got to be honest, I think this is going to be a very interesting game. I really do. I think if John Parrott can play somewhere near the John Parrott of old, I think it's going to be a very open, attacking game. Certainly that's the style of play that Igor plays. He likes to go for his shots. And wasn't he proud walking down them steps? All the way from Brazil. Very proud there to have the Brazilian flag flying above the arena. You can see it means the world to him playing in this event. Also with it being at the Crucible, makes it that little bit extra special. And this boy can play. If you've never heard of him from home, he can play the game. He's had a very good recent spell at the World Professional Championships. One match away from qualifying. He does hit the ball like John Parrott very, very well. John's obviously got a very straight cue action in days gone by. Really could crack a ball in when he wanted to, and Igor, to be honest, is very, very similar. They do hit the ball quite firm. And I like balls here and in the back of the pocket click, so they are both confident players. As usual, first frame is the big time to settle down, get used to it, get used to the pace, get used to the speed. And John, as I'm sure you've seen on TV, will have been busy at the World Qualifiers and the World Finals professional. Says he's had a few hours practice. Really was a great world champion. It's a good shot from Igor. A little bit of to and fro in the safety battles. Black's pretty tied up. It will go in the one pocket, but it does reduce the chances when it only goes in one side. No chance for Igor. He's a big lad, he's over 6 foot tall, mind you, so's John. I think they both tower over 6 foot, maybe 6'2", 6'3". Land of the giants.
Do you know what, Mike? I remember watching Igor coming so close on Judgment Day to Mark Joyce, and from a distance, from a high up angle, you could have been forgiven for thinking you were watching a peak of his powers Tony Drago, especially with that wave of dark hair.
Yeah, it's a good comparison. He has got the nickname at the moment. It's not a nickname, but he does remind me of Bruce Banner, who plays the Hulk. So that has been bandied around a bit. A fiery temper as well, let me tell you. He's known. He's got a nickname of the Tiger back home in Brazil. Over there they play on 10-foot tables, not the full-size one. They have got the full-size ones, of course, but Igor grew up on 10-foot tables. He only started playing on a 12-foot table, I think, in about 2010. So, still relatively new to the game of snooker, but did tell me that he used to play a lot of money matches and big games over there. I wouldn't like to get on the wrong side of him. I've seen his temper go a few times. But very good player. John's just trying to come off 2 cushions and land on the one at the bottom. That was a very good shot. Judged that very well. Especially with it being the first frames. Because you're trying to judge how the table's going to play. You don't know if it's going to slide off the cushions. That was very well played.
Don't worry. You won't miss a single ball. Couple of gremlins in the system. We're not leaving this one early.
Fantastic shot. Very, very well worked out there. He's played in an area he's trying to get behind the yellow or the brown. As long as he gets cover, he's not really bothered which ball, but very, very well played shot. Same with John again, 1 cushion this time, just trying to drop on that red and the black rail. I knew straight away by the expression on John's face that he didn't quite hit it hard enough. I'm not sure if he's done some damage. No, Igor just getting it replaced. So take 2.
Well, you mentioned how well he played with the first snooker. It was perfectly judged, wasn't it? Millimetre perfect.
I do believe he's done it again.
Foul.
I think John knew the moment he hit it.
Oh.
Slight sigh. You can always tell as a player if you've got the shot or not, usually. You know if it's close anyway, certainly. Well, now on take 3. Because he can't see a ball full on, the red, you can be here for 10 shots, 20 shots, wherever it takes. He won't lose the frame on a 3 miss rule or anything. And he's doing it again. He's actually frightened of hitting this too hard because he does not want to push that red along the rail. That's what he's trying to avoid. He's winding his arm up to hit it harder there, Rob.
He's got a good sense of humour, John Parrott. I think he's determined to enjoy this occasion.
Yeah, you go. Foul and a miss. Igor Figueidero.
How long are we on air tonight, Rob?
Until the very end. What a moment for this guy, Igor Figueidero. I know we'll have time to talk about him this evening as the next couple of hours unfolds. That's better. Took him a while. But yeah, what a moment for the Brazilian. Such a late convert to snooker. Spent a long time away from his family now, based up in the northeast, so he's made some big sacrifices in this sport. Proud day for him and his family and his country.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to spend a bit of time with Igor up at the Q House Academy, and he's got a beautiful family there back in Brazil, and I can assure you he does miss them very much. And of course it's very difficult just to go back home. I mean, it's a long way to go anyway back to Brazil, but due to the current restrictions, He did get home at Christmas, but his flight did get moved back a few times. But he's earned another 2 years on the tour with that fabulous run in the World Championships.
What a run that was. Beat Farrak Ajib 6-0, but then 2 6-5 matches. Robbie Williams and then Tepchaya Unnu. And he pushed Mark Joyce close on Judgment Day. He wasn't a million miles away from getting here. The World Professional Championship.
Oh,
But how about that? He gets a little reminder from his opponent that there's a match on this evening. Good starter from the champion of 30 years ago.
Yeah, I remember John was such a very, very good long potter. And I said when you were walking up to the commentary box, Robbie's, he likes them balls slamming in the pockets. He does hit the ball quite hard, quite firm. He's not shy. And like I said, very, very similar player to Igor. As you can see by that shot, very talented with plenty of cue power. I think he's been very unlucky. He struck that very well. Just overrun it by 4 or 5 inches. A little bit unlucky there because travelled on another couple of inches, he'd have been on that red just to the left of the black. I think this is going to be a close game, this. John looks up
jump
for it.
out. 5.
Igor's one of the favourite for the tournament. I think him and Ken are joint favourites. And that's based really on the performances they've done in the professional game and the match sharpness. But I think Igor's going to have a bit of a task on his hand if John can play as good as we know he can.
I wonder how much nerves will play a factor for Igor. I know there's no crowd here, but we heard from David Lilly, who made it through his first round match, just how tense he felt, even coming out to an empty arena. He said he found it surprising how edgy he was. And that won't be the case for John Parrott. He'll respect the stage, of course, but Igor has never been here before. And I wonder whether he'll be feeling a few butterflies in this opening frame.
It's also something he's not used to, Rob, because them extra few steps to the table just throws the player a little bit off balance. Because as you can see, it's quite a big arena when you're down to one table, and Igor won't be used to that as well. Normally you're 2 steps and you're at the table, and you know, it can just mess a little bit with your bearings and make things look a little different. Obviously this place is the theatre of dreams with so much wonderful memories here. Childhood dreams. Really is a privilege. All credit to Jason Francis and his team. Once again putting on a fantastic event. Well, that black being tied up has just slowed things up a little bit and stopped the plane flowing. I guess first frame of the match, both players won't be too bothered about that because it'll both give them time to adapt to the table and not put them quite under as much pressure on each shot. When you have an open table and the black free, sometimes it amplifies the pressure when you're playing a shot because of what you're leaving your opponent. It'll just take the pressure off a touch, allow them to settle into the match a little bit.
Nice tap of the table from John Parrott there in acknowledgement of where Igor has left the cue ball.
It's been some good opening safety, Rob. Both players obviously experienced. Another way around a snooker table. Goes without saying for John Parrott, of course it does. But nevertheless, still got to play the shots. Again, not taking too many risks. Has left Igor a little bit of a chance in the middle bag here. Bit of a shot to nothing. As a player, you ideally want to, if you go for this red, you want to be hitting top knuckle on the middle bag. So if you miss it, it brings the red back down the table. The last thing you want is the red going back up with you. That's a great shot.
One.
Very good opening shot. He just had a little nice nudge on that yellow. So straight away, he's looking down the other end of the table. He obviously expecting to pot the yellow, but
Yellow ball.
needs to know where to put the white.
Igor saved his status on tour with that great run to Judgment Day. What was it, about a month ago? Feels like it's about 2. We've been up here for an eternity. He has got a couple of decent wins this season, alongside a whole host of half a dozen first round exits. Last 16 to Northern Ireland. Beat Graham Dott, Sonny Akani before losing to Kurt Mafflin. Beat Jimmy Robertson, UK champs, and then lost out to Joe Perry in the last 64. So it's been a tough season, but a couple of decent wins here and there. And then an excellent effort to get through to Judgment Day at the English Institute of Sport. So he'll be buoyed up for this. Prize for winning this, a quarter-final against Stephen Hendry. I think they'll be first up as well, midday tomorrow afternoon.
I think if I knew I was playing Stephen Hendry in the next round or something, I think I'd lose on purpose. It terrifies me. Such a great player, such a great ambassador, and Stephen now is back on the main tour, putting the hours in. Starting to show a bit of form as well.
Oh.
Excellent pot there from John.
Second long red of the frame. Drilled into the heart of the pocket.
Do you know, Rob, I mean, I'll take you back to winning world title. This is what he's famous for, John. Very good straight cue action. Doesn't appear to play with a lot of side. Drilling balls in, back of the pocket. Very confident player.
7.
Says he's been trying glasses out for the past 12 months. Been a bit difficult to use them due to the restrictions. He was telling me before he went out that he's had to watch his feet a little bit more, because he can't really see the table and his feet at the same time. So he's trying to line things up a little differently.
8.
But certainly judging by his long potting, he's doing it very well.
The other thing I think John was aware of, Mike, is just what a tough proposition Igor Figueidero was going to be. I think he would have arrived here knowing he probably had one of the toughest first round draws of this Rokit World Seniors. So although that's a difficult situation, he knew he had to arrive here and produce his A game to stand a chance of beating the younger player.
Yeah, absolutely. You've just took me back to a memory, actually. We used to play a lot of the qualifiers at Pontins in Prestatyn. And there we had a corridor running behind all the qualifying tables. There was 4 tables in blocks on each side of the building. and I was
Come on,
going back
Parrott.
from a match.
14.
I actually walked in the wrong cubicle just as John was down on the final black in a frame, and as I've opened the door, John's jumped up out of his queuing position and he missed the black. Now I've gone into my match not knowing what's going on, but I've immediately shut the door. I spoke to him afterwards and he was thankfully just clearing up just for a bit of table time, but I went into my match really embarrassed and terrified I was going to meet an angry John Parrott after my match, but never done that again.
All you guys must have put in some serious yards at Prestatyn. I went there quite a few years ago now to cover a couple of events. I know we've all got used to spending massive amounts of time at Milton Keynes this season, but that would have been Prestatyn in the old days.
It was also Prestatyn in the winter. And believe me, them holiday chalets aren't meant for the winter. Very cold they were. What a shot from JP there. Lovely little plant he spotted. Slight shake of the head. I think he wanted to be a little bit better on a colour. And he is on the green, but these reds aren't really given a clear opportunity for both players if they get in. They've got to work it. Maybe get hit and run all the time. And as you can see, he's got to do this with a lot of top. Left hand side, get it down the table. That is a very, very good effort. Very good effort. A little unlucky.
4.
Here's the plant again. Blink and you'll miss it. And we did.
John Parrott. 4.
Well, he's got his eye in this first frame. I suspect this might be a little bit cagey for a while. Tomorrow, incidentally, if you are hoping to rejoin us as we edge towards the climax of this year's World Seniors, we go best of 7s tomorrow, and we're best of 9 for the final on Sunday night. 7 o'clock. Plenty of drama to come between now and then, of course. All 4 quarters tomorrow. Back-to-back semis starting at midday on Sunday. And then we'll return for the very last match of this season. And everybody will have a few weeks off before those aspiring to regain a place on tour gather for Q School. But this officially is the very, very last event of a season in which I think snooker has shone from behind closed doors. It really has.
There's no doubt that snooker's led the way in the sports. I think at one point the rest of the world was watching us. I'm fortunate to be on the WPBSA, the board, so I've seen how hard everybody's worked behind the scenes. It's certainly shone a bright torch to the rest of the world just to show them how we can put events on, and the team have just done amazing. Igor's been very unlucky there. He needed a bit of luck, of course he did, but you just expect a little bit of a sniff on a colour if you can chance it. I do honestly think John's got Igor thinking a bit as well, because he's been quite impressive. He's been cracking some decent balls in, and he's going to have Igor thinking that. He's going to try and keep him at distance, I think, from now on.
Could be a long night this, you know. We're gone 9:15. Still a fair bit of life left in this first frame. If it gets tight, this could be quite a gruelling match, bearing in mind that the winner is coming back at midday tomorrow for the Stephen Hendry opening quarter-final. Second match on tomorrow afternoon for those wishing to mark a card. Paddy Wallace
And the
Played
miss.
really well against Mick Judge,
Igor Figueidero 1.
against
John Parrott, 4.
Barry Pinches. Nearly said Barry Hawkins. Barry Hawkins is on his summer holiday. Barry Pinches is here and will play Paddy Wallace tomorrow afternoon.
This is one of these situations where Igor is obviously on a colour.
Thank you.
He can
Igor.
nominate the black, but he can't see a safety off it, so he's choosing to go up the table and, well, he's done well. Hitting the green. Now, if he'd have missed the green there, he would have really had to take the black, because if he'd have missed the green again, he'd have lost the frame on the 3 miss rule. So he had a couple of goes at it. That's a good shot, that, from John. Decent white. If you can get 2 or 3 inches off that baulk cushion on any safety shot, just gives you the upper hand. That's an equally good shot from Igor there. Yeah, very good. John tapping the table. And then a bit of pressure on John, you could see, just caught it a little bit thick. Bit of body movement from John there. He knew the minute he'd hit it. Wasn't quite going in the direction he wanted. He's tied that black up as well, so this could be a long frame. Again, I don't think both players will mind that. It'll just help them settle.
First frame is so important in these best of 5s, isn't it? Got to get off to a quick start.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing wrong with John's eyes. He's played some cracking shots so far. It's only the odd one that's gone thick, but he's certainly finding his edges, he's long potting. Again, it's sending good signals out if you're a John Parrott fan, because certainly look as though he's sighting things well. Beautiful shot there from Igor. Took a chance. Knew he was going to leave John in if he missed it, but very well played shot. Just naturally play it off 2 cushions. Didn't have to do too much with a cue ball. Knew he'd be on the pink. This is a good chance to get a little bit of a lead. Again, very similar style to John Parrott. Instead of dropping that in dead weight and rolling through, punches the balls through. The style that John played many, many years ago, punching the balls through. Really has got tremendous cue power, Igor, as well. It's been said by a lot of other commentators and pundits in the past, he has got one of the strongest cue actions in the game, both in style and power. It just seems to deliver it so straight. Did tell me a lot of the tables when he played in Brazil
14.
were very slow, so he did have to hit the ball hard and punch them. Whereas he had to get used to these super fine cloths, which is a case of trying to roll things and drop things in. He had to change a lot of parts of his game. Does work hard as well, Rob. I think he said before the World qualifies he's doing up to 10 hours a day.
21.
Yes, I did hear that and read that. I guess if you're thousands of miles away from your family, you want to try and justify every day that you're away, maximising what he's earning and saving to send back to them, and trying to maximise his potential, this newfound second part of his career from the age of 32. It's been quite some journey, literally and metaphorically, for Igor.
28.
Never, what was it? Never played on a full-size table until something like 2009. Amazing. Good story.
Igor Figueidero.
Yeah, and of course,
28.
he's not got the home comforts that many of the main tour professionals have got. And a lot of that does make you play more snooker. You know, a lot of the guys in the UK certainly will have their favourite TV programmes to watch on the night, and certainly a family to go home to. Of course, he's not got any of that, so all he's to do sometimes is play snooker. All credit to him. I'd find that extremely difficult. It's hard when I was on the main tour, leaving my family back at home. Not easy to do. Once again, very, very good shot. Find that top cushion. John just realigning himself. Just got to keep slightly down on the white when you play off a cushion. That was a decent effort, that. Unlucky to catch the brown on the way back. Now, I think Igor's just studying the situation here. The last thing he wants to be doing is going for this red. In my opinion, certainly, it's too risky. He'd be opening everything up if he missed it and possibly handing the frame to John, so thin off the edge. He does not want to be pushing too many balls out. Yeah, he's gone for a very, very thin edge there. He doesn't want to be putting any pace into this red at all, because if he does, he's going to open the black up. And that's what John wants to happen. Now John's looking at the table to think, well, should I open the black on this shot? That's what he's thinking, because it's a good opportunity to open it. Swing the ball around, get behind the yellow, green and brown. So at some point I think John's going to be looking to try and play that shot.
James Chambers looking for a little bit of assistance from David Brown, the marker.
Yeah.
James made his television refereeing debut yesterday. 39-year-old, born and bred in Sheffield, now lives just down the road in Rotherham. There he is. I think he had a few text messages yesterday from his friends. I went to an excellent night of boxing at the Magma Centre in Rotherham way back in 2005, I think.
Which way?
Haven't had a chance to have a chat with James to see whether he's watched
Pardon?
an evening of boxing there. Feels quite big, this first frame. Huge moments in the career of Igor Figueidero. And it's taken a while. We're edging towards 9:30 and the outcome of this frame is still not determined. Oh, that'll help. Wow. Flash of brilliance. Tiny bit of fortune for the Brazilian. What a pot.
I think he was actually forced into playing that, Rob, because I don't think he wanted to leave John it. Because John would have gone for it. John would have certainly attacked the balls and tried to get them open. So I think he had to play it. Didn't he play it well? Yeah, they've done well, these guys, these referees. Of course, led by Leo Scullion. Very experienced referee and very, very good friend. Dare I mention it, he refereed my 147 in the German Masters. I won't talk about that though, Rob.
I had made a note of it. But,
14.
did you get him to sign anything afterwards as a memento?
I'd have had him round for dinner that night, I was that happy.
15.
Probably on a par, I'd suggest, with your run to the China Open semis. What was it, 14?
Yeah, 2014. That was at that time. It was to save my tours spot.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, I remember spending a month in China to get myself ready for it, and certainly knew what it was like to stay away from home. Now this is interesting. Igor needs a colour. If he gets this colour, John's going to need snookers. So it's just a case of dropping the pink in, getting enough in front.
Twenty-one.
39 in front now. 35 on the table. That's one snooker to tie. Or possibly a free ball opportunity while this red's on the table.
Igor Figueidero. 21.
A nice bit of luck.
Put his hand up straight away there, Igor, to acknowledge his good fortune.
Do you know what, Rob? They're not in bad positions, these, for snookers. I think Igor's going to be aware of that. That yellow, green and brown. John can get an opportunity to swing the white around the table. They're in a good place. Igor will know this, which is the shot Igor's just try and played. Sometimes you've just got to try and play a snooker back.
So this would close the door. You can't imagine John would come back to the table, having already had plenty of time in this intriguing opener.
Oh,
A couple of excellent long pots from the 1991 world and UK champion. But a good frame on the board. His first in any match at the Crucible.
7.
And I wonder if he's taken a moment just to allow himself a glance at the Brazilian flag. It'll be almost in his eye line right now as he goes for this yellow.
9.
Proud moment for a proud man.
12. 16.
Familiar Brazilian flag on the left, representing all the nationalities
21.
here as part of the 2021 Rokit World Seniors. First couple of days has gone really quickly.
27. Foul.
Igor goes in off, it doesn't matter. Excellent finish to the first frame. The Brazilian is on the board, 1-0 against the former champion.
Really is a wonderful shot of the arena, that, and quite rightly, yeah, there's the flags all lined up. Very, very proud moment. Actually thought it was a decent frame from both players there. Of course, he's the draw. As Rob mentioned earlier, the winner of this game plays Stephen Hendry tomorrow at noon. And once again, I think the eyes are drawn to a possible Hendry and White clash again. And two guys played last year, and I think the whole country stopped to watch that match. Really was a big occasion. Some interesting games there.
Jimmy and Darren will be a fantastic match. Meanwhile, this has been an intriguing opener. The Brazilian against the proud Liverpudlian.
We do need a nickname for him though, Rob. We're going to have a word with him because I can think of a few, but I'm not going to say them on air.
Well, we've got the Belgian bullet. What about the Brazilian bullet? The eyes are telling me no from Mike Dunn with that one. Samba snooker.
Do second frame. John Parrott.
Don't give up your
3.
day job.
John Parrott starts us off in the second frame, trailing by 1 here at the Crucible. There's got to be some kind of alliteration. Fantastic Figueidero. To be continued.
Well,
Beautiful strike that. And he did intend to go around the back of the black, but he did catch it on the way through. It's a little bit too much backspin on the white, as you can see. Certainly good signs that he's cueing well. And once again, very attacking shot there. Played that fantastic. Certainly not shy of going for his shots, Igor.
Seven.
He's just going to be looking for angles off colours all the time, trying to get the cue ball back down towards the black spot. There's a couple of big shots coming up. He's just under hit that a touch. Ideally wanted to be a little bit further down the table, so he didn't have to do too much work. He knows that. A little bit of a grimace on his face. So he will go for this red, but possibly just drop it in and come back up for the blue. Can play the cover shot with a pack. Should he leave it over the pocket? That's what he should have done. He's hit it a bit hard. Has he got covered on the blue? No, he hasn't. Possibly missed a trick there. Could have hit it a bit softer and used the pack as cover. It's a chance for John. Now, I've seen John in the past, if he's got the angle, crash into the reds from a red.
Well,
May have just tried to do that. It's unusual that. Normally a player would go into the pack off a colour. I have seen it on occasions where they would use a red to go into the pack and take a little bit to chance, but because the black was relatively near a pocket, it was worth the risk. I think all he can do after this black, if he can pot it, is just get the points. Yeah, I'm not sure, John, you had the angle there.
what?
They play with a lot of side.
Options here for Igor.
Oh,
Yeah, very good. He did have an option there. The red that's right near the black, he did look at potting that, pushing the white through, which would have hit the black half ball, pushed it down towards the black rail, but decided against it. And looking at this, he's played the right choice. Once again, the ball slamming into the back of the pockets. That tells me positive and confident cueing. Again, you see a lot of players would play exactly the same shot. A little a bit less pace, get the same result, but some
So-
players do like to put a lot more power into the shot, play with a lot more confidence. Igor's one of them.
I think that first frame would have really helped to settle him down.
8.
Yeah, I certainly don't think John's done a lot wrong. Like we said at the start, Igor is one of the favourites. Does work hard and extremely sharp at the moment with that World Championship at the professional level. Keeping him very sharp. Now, going to open the reds even more here. Yeah, again, well played. Well played. Didn't have to play that, but it was the correct shot.
15.
Looks very focused to me, Rob.
Really good chance this, with the reds well spread. It's not quite an orchard of reds, as Dominic Dale has coined the phrase. But it's a pretty nice setup. Black on pink, pink on the black spot.
More of a cherry tree, Rob.
Well, you know Dominic, he has his idiosyncrasies and his own ways of viewing things.
Has led me to get the Theosaurus out a few times while I've been watching, I must admit. I think I'm right in saying the
22.
current highest break is 124 by Lee Walker. Maybe right in the first round against Darren Morgan. Oh, Igor, took your eye off it.
22.
It's a mistake. I was going to say it's a good chance of certainly getting the highest break if that's not correct what I've said, but I do think it is. He's took his eye off that pot though. Now this is what John needs. A good starter.
1.
And for me, John's looking comfortable out there, so I would expect him to score a few here.
Igor will be annoyed with himself over that. I agree with you. I thought it had the potential to look like a century. I remember Darren Morgan got 112. That might be the highest break, I think. And then Ken Doherty started with a ton. His match earlier on today.
Yeah, Igor's effectively done all the hard work for John. They say he's opened them reds with confidence, and he did just take his eye off that red. Took it for granted. He will be kicking himself even more. I don't think there was any excuses, unless it was a bit tight. But if it was, it shouldn't have been the red he should have been going for. If there was any doubt, he should have gone for something else. But like I say, he's gifted him a chance and opened the reds. Slight grimace from John there. He's held the spot, which means the black can't go on the pink spot. It's got to go the nearest it can behind its own spot. So effectively it's tight up behind the pink. So the black will still go, but it just makes the pot a little bit more difficult. Of course it rules the pink out now. A little bit error of judgment, but can soon rectify it with this next shot, because now
16.
the pink spot is free. We can get it back on there.
Black ball.
We just wiped its feet there. Just put a little bit more pressure on the pot there, because made the pot
23.
significantly difficult with it just moving down the table a touch. Yeah, I said he's looking well out there, and he's taken these very confidently.
Igor will be very annoyed if he loses this frame as a result of that missed red. It was looking for all the world like a very big scoring visit, but he took his eye off it, and John Parrott so far is making the most of that mistake and his opportunity.
A little bit of a dilemma here. It's just ran on the cue ball, just that extra couple of inches he didn't want. So the red at the bottom of the cluster possibly will squeeze past the pink, but I think John is just going to try and get the white. Nah, he's rushed it. Threw a quick one in there, Rob. Not quite dropped.
31.
No pause on the backswing there. He'll be kicking himself. He knew it was a big shot there. Just a little bit of pressure showing there. But it was a tough shot. They always are. Anything near a cushion, and you've just got to sometimes rely on a little bit of gravity to help it in. But he knew that if he was going to miss it, certainly he was leaving Igor back in, and that just amplified the pressure.
Big couple of moments now, and a big prize for the winner. Igor Figueidero would love to say that he's played not only John Parrott but Stephen Hendry as well. King of the Crucible at the Crucible. Can he edge closer?
Just composing himself now. He knows that the next few positional shots are very important, because then balls will only go in a certain direction. So yeah, he's taking the bottom red of them two first. That just opens the other one up into all pockets. It's the right choice. But he knew he just had to pinch a little bit of pocket there. Again, a little bit of a quick one there from Igor. This is what happens when the balls are often in the open. Like I said in the first frame, the black being tied up just takes the pressure off. But if you know that you're going to miss a ball and gift your opponent a frame winning opportunity, it certainly amplifies the pressure. So again now, over to John. They're there for him. The pressure's going to slowly build
Green ball.
with each pot. Again, there's that little bit of a composure from John, just realigning himself with his glasses. And John, you threw a quick one in again there. No pause on the backswing. You can see it, Rob. A little bit of pressure.
I think they both know how big these moments are for different reasons. Igor because he's trying to close in on a very healthy lead, and John Parrott's trying to prevent him doing just that.
And look, I mean, you know, John Parrott, great former world champion, still a great potter. Of course, unfortunately for John, sometimes when you can't get the hours on the practice table, it's difficult to groove your game. It's quite easy to lose your way out there sometimes. Sometimes just a simple thing like rushing your backswing, not holding the cue at the back and just settling yourself into the shot can make a big difference. And certainly on the two shots John's missed, as you've seen there, he's played with a pause. He threw quick ones in.
Oh,
Well,
superb from the Brazilian.
Deadly is the word, I think, Rob. That was outstanding. Right in the heart of the pocket. He's just looking at now at finding a way of getting back down to that red. Just finished slightly short of where he wanted to be, but he can use the blue, of course, to get back down there. And the green is stopping him from coming off the top rail and side rail, so he's got to be careful he doesn't catch it. But he has got other options. Choosing to go the other way. He's just about got there. Wanting to be a little bit further, but he's on the red.
6.
Really was some pot though. And that's a real strong point in Igor's game. Like I say, it's all about the cue action, and when your cue is straight and as accurate as he is, equally the same with John Parrott, it
7.
does make you very strong in certain departments in the game. If my maths are correct, just this
Oh.
yellow to need John needing one snooker. So he doesn't really have to worry too much about the green, just focus on getting the yellow. Don't take your eye off it. A little bit of an angle so it naturally just goes across.
14.
Well, he's produced some great pots in this frame to get himself over the line. Looked as though he had an opportunity to conjure a big break and then let John Parrott in.
17.
But the 9-time ranking event winner was unable to punish the mistake. That one wriggled in. Just a little raise of the eyebrows. Never in doubt it was staying up, he said.
It was very Roger Moore, that. Now, Roger Moore only raised
26.
one eyebrow, I think. Former James Bond.
One of the greats. Beautifully done.
32.
Igor Figueidero is one away
Igor
from
Figueidero.
completing his maiden match at the Crucible with a win over a former champion in a bid to face another in the quarter-finals. Big night for the Brazilian. So far he's delivering 2-0.
He's been very impressive, Rob. Very impressive. I mean, I don't think John is particularly playing bad or anything. I mean, obviously he's missed the odd ball, but I think John's long potting's been exemplary. His safety's been good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the stats are that bad. But safety's percent for Igor up in the high 90s is very good. Average shot times, both playing at similar paces, but because Igor's been scoring, his average shot time slightly come down. He's been a little bit more in the flow, whereas John quite hasn't had the flow of Igor. He's had to think a little bit about certain shots he's had to play. So it just takes your average shot time up a little bit. But he's definitely sending a warning out, Igor, here. Remember, it's his first time this at the Crucible, so doing extremely well. Good start.
Thank you, third frame. Igor Figueidero, take.
Oh, how about that? Absolutely nothing wrong with John Parrott's long game. That was another drilled long red. Absolutely brilliant. He hasn't played badly at all in this match. Generally, Igor Figueiredo's nerve has held good, and he deserves his lead. But some of John Parrott's long pots have been great. Little puff of the cheeks over that one, though.
Like I said, he's had, you know, little chances round the pack, but sensational safety, sensational long potting. But just the odd little silly one like that's just catching him out. You can see he's a little bit frustrated at that. Igor playing with a shot that we like to call a drag shot. You're basically putting backspin on the ball, so you can hit it with pace, and halfway travelling down the table the white will slow down. It just helps you get the line of the shot a lot better, and by hitting the ball harder, keeps the white straighter on a longer path. Trying the attacking shot there. Has he got away with it? John's having a look now to see if he's on it. He's got to start taking his chances if he's got to make an impact, because the rest of the game has been superb. Well played, John. That was difficult. Touch too hard, but almost rocking on the shot while he was there, because such an awkward stretch. Again, it shows how fast these tables are. That's just ran on extra couple of inches. Very good.
Eight.
But again, he's just position, yeah, he's just had a little laugh to himself. He's playing some very good shots, and the white's just running away from him and making things awkward. Again, he's got to pull another shot out the bag here.
John Parrott, 8.
Frustration, you can see it. There's nothing worse, Rob, than how well you're playing in other areas, and sometimes things don't quite go your way. And there again, there's another one from Igor. Possibly seeing the winning line. Knew it was a good chance, but again threw a quick one in. Whenever a player doesn't hold that pause at the back, it's usually a telltale sign. Not every player plays with a back pause, but I would say 95% of the tour do. Whenever a player's a little bit under pressure, that back pause, which effectively is there to just steady the ship when you're down on the shop, it just stops the player from composing themselves and leads to mistakes.
Eight.
Very emotional day today, wasn't it, Rob? Seeing the great Dennis Taylor.
Oh, yes. Dennis putting his cue down for the final time. Good shot from John Parrott. That was hugely emotional. Dennis losing that match against Barry Pinches and then coming off and telling us that's it. Of course, his career as a professional finished a long time ago, but
14.
we didn't know until about a day or so ago that he would be
15.
finishing his participation in the seniors events. And if you missed the end of that match earlier on today, we played him the last minute of the final in 1985, and there was barely a dry eye in the house, myself included, doing the interview. I could barely get the words out. a man to whom the sport owes a great deal.
19.
But don't worry, you will still be hearing and seeing Dennis as part of the seniors coverage and the BBC coverage at the UK Championship and the Masters, but not with a cue in his hand.
20.
Certainly not to competitive level. He has promised us he may an occasional appearance in the odd exhibition, but I'm just privileged to have been here today. It was fantastic to see. Once again, kissing that trophy, the World Championship trophy. Felt very honoured to be here and witness it. John just having a little look, see what his options are from the other side of the table. It's just a little bit low on the black, which stops him holding the white for that red on the left. So he may have to just go into them. Yeah, he's tried to nudge one on the outside there and he just glanced one on the way through. But he is on a red. He is one through the gap.
27.
Now, this is all about cueing, technique, trying to keep things as straight as possible. Ah, that was tough. That was tough.
27.
Credit to him for taking it on, but that was a tough shot. He knew he was going to leave Igor in.
Now, is Igor Figueidero going to feel the pressure of the impending winning line
1.
if he's able to take advantage of this opportunity? Looked a little bit nervous when he came out, understandably. Big occasion for him. We understand from Jason Francis, chairman of the World Seniors, that broadcasting deal has been done, so people around South America will have had an opportunity to be watching this, and he'll know that.
8.
A milestone moment for Igor and his family. And everybody connected with him at the academy as well, who no doubt will be watching tonight.
9.
He's not there yet in the quarterfinals, but he's close. And this is a great chance.
Just got to compose himself with each shot.
16.
Make sure, keep things consistent. Make sure his body stays the same technique as much as he can. Doesn't want to be doing anything different.
17.
Did a lovely little shot there, just played it with a bit of right hand side, just to keep the cue ball low. So he gives himself a nice angle on the black just to play a simple stun shot. Certainly all there for him now, Rob.
24.
Well, if he was in the club at the academy, he'd clear the table here with his eyes closed. But this is a different scenario. You were a pro for so many years. When you sense you're on the verge of achieving something quite special, it must be very difficult to keep yourself together in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, and of course, there's not many people that can actually say they've played at the Crucible, whether it's professional level or World Senior level. It's still an achievement, and even smaller club for people who can say they've won at the Crucible. And these guys in the World Seniors, the level has gone up. A lot of the professional snooker players on the main tour can enter. And even some of the players that are not on the professional main tour still do play at a high standard, so
33.
to win this tournament is no easy feat. We've seen that last year. Ken Doherty in the final against Jimmy White, and Ken, of course, went in front 4 frames to 0. Jimmy had a fantastic comeback. Oh dear, Igor, the only place you didn't want to see.
40.
Any place he didn't want to be. Yeah, Jimmy coming back from 4-0 down against Kennan and winning 5 frames to 4. And it was a really high standard, that final. So it's no mean feat.
Igor, Figueidero, 40.
Right, he's going to be a little bit disappointed he didn't finish the match there, but you could say a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, shake of the head tells you all. There's plenty of places he could have put the cue ball there and shouldn't have been anywhere near it, really. He's left John a shot to nothing here. Red and bottom of the pink.
Well,
Once again, John Parrott's long game more than up to the task. Igor still sitting in his chair, shaking his head, now looks to the ground and shakes those wide South American shoulders. He was so close, but running out of position might cost him this frame. How about that from JP?
Just finished a few inches out of position here, so this is a big shot, this. Yeah, it was a big shot, a lot of pressure on it.
oh,
You knew that. Again, I've got to say it, gifting another opportunity to Igor.
He knows what the next couple of minutes mean.
well,
Of course, he's told me many a times the admiration he's got for Stephen Hendry, and that again is a prize in itself. Playing such a great ambassador of the game.
8. Nine.
Wow, that was a beautiful shot there. Got the perfect angle on the blue there, just to keep this simple. This is a routine that players practice all the time. Of course, he doesn't need all of them.
14.
Yellow and green should do it. Be aware of that. So will John. May play this with a touch of right hand side, just to check it up off the cushion and straighten the angle to get on the green. That's one of his options. There's the side, just holding the cue ball.
16.
So effectively, it's green for the match.
Superb. The dream debut.
I do feel for John Rob. I do think he's played okay. It's just I think he's just caught himself out a little bit with the table. We all know how great a player John Parrott is. And he showed it with some of the great pots he's played. But Igor, you've got to say, has taken his chances and taken them well. It's going to be some game tomorrow against Stephen Hendry.
Great performance by the Brazilian. Samba snooker indeed.
Match.
And what a way to finish. Fantastic performance there. I'm sure the streets of Brazil, family and friends back there, will be cheering him on there and glad to see him through. Absolutely brilliant.
'cause that's
Not a
what's
great way to start your career at the Crucible.